Alright, it's the 6th over here at the other place, and I was getting ready to mow the dandelion farm here. Figured I should do a quick run through the garden patch for the beginning of the year 2016. So I guess I'll do that. I've done a few of these, but have not posted them yet. So quick rundown here. We got the strawberries, which in fact I was going to thin out this year, but by the time I got to it, they were already setting buds and flowers, so I decided I better leave them alone. Nothing planted here. Hoping for some of the Tito to self-seed, and in fact right there, I think we can see it. There looks to be one, so we'll get some Tito back here. Hopefully it'll come up. It's a I don't know, I guess an herb. The rhubarb's doing real well, and in fact, it flowered this year. I've never seen a flower on a rhubarb, but this one did this year. I pruned the hydrangeas properly this year, so we will get blooms. Last year, somebody cut it a little bit aggressively, and we got one bloom on the whole bunch. This year we'll have plenty, I'm sure. Some of the volunteers, here we got some mustard green coming in, and one leftover lettuce plant back there in the corner. Next door is cabeçon, which is actually Chinese mustard, and we've transplanted some of that over here into this bed. And once we harvest this stuff all out, it'll be pepper plants eventually, and probably basil here, Thai basil. Got some lettuce going over here, and of course green onions back there. Here between these flags I planted some asparagus. We'll see how it does. Asparagus, it's like 3 years before you can really start to harvest, and somebody we know had some that they thinned out and gave me some of the tubers, so I'm going to give it a shot. Planted some peas back here a while ago. A few of them are coming up. These are like sugar snap peas. Eventually this whole trellis will be our oppo, the big long squash we grow. But sugar snap peas are like an early crop, and then towards fall we plant another crop. So hopefully they'll come up and do their thing here pretty quick. More green onions, of course. And then these here are what they call gokyu, which are like little tiny kind of onions that you you wash them like 3 times with ashes, which bleaches them out, and then you make pickles out of them. So what'll happen is later this year I'll dig all that whole bunch up, and then I'll put back 1 or 2 bulbs, you know, in each spot, and then the following year we'll do it again, but we'll make pickle out of whatever I dig up there. This little trellis thing I made last year, and it's going to be for the squash called mup, or Vietnamese loofah is another name for it. But so far all I've planted in here this year is some mackerel heads and mackerel tails. So once those rot down, that'll be some really good soil. And of course there's a few green onions there. Pruned the grapes a while back, and they're budding out. These grapes, I don't know how to prune them properly, other than having watched some YouTube videos. And what I did to them this year is what they call cane pruning. And I'm basically trying to get them trained up here on top. And so then I'll be able to, I think, prune each of these little spots off as a spur every year, and then cut everything else off. But we'll see. They were in pots over at the barn for several years before I brought them here, and they've been here now 4 or 5 years, I believe. And I'm just trying to get them trained up on top of this trellis looking thing. The raspberries, we're going to have a bunch of raspberries this year. Every year you prune back what fruited, and then you leave the ones that look like this, the new growth, which is for the following year, and that's what these are. So we're gonna have a lot of raspberries here pretty quick. The spearmint came back. It wintered over well and is coming back pretty nice. Yeah, this here is spearmint. Plant something else here, probably some more basil of some sort. Of course, we got more green onions in here. And then we got my little rock garden. Most of these rocks I actually found in this yard as I was digging around. So somebody that lived here in the past has had an interest in rocks, because these rocks don't belong here. The only two that I've added that didn't come out of the yard is this one here and this one here, which are some that I picked up somewhere, who knows. But I grew up in a family that collects rocks. My uncle, in fact, was a geologist and paleontologist. So we got some lemon mint here, a little more onion. This here is some fish mint, which will come back. It dies off in the winter, but the roots come back. We can see it coming back here. So that's the fish mint, and it tastes and smells just like its name, fish. This here has been planted this year. This is Rhubarb, or Vietnamese Coriander, and we buy a little bunch at the store and get the roots going in the water. There's a few more sticks of it in here which look like they might take, but I'm sure there's some more in some water somewhere. There's a little bit in this pot that wintered over in the greenhouse. A few more onions there, and then some hens and chicks. But yeah, that's this end of the garden patch as it is. Behind the greenhouse here, got all kinds of peppermint going, and it's, you know, just peppermint, just stuck in some starts there last year, and it's just going to go wild there. And we can see the greenhouse is in use there. Some more peppermint that wintered over in the greenhouse. We have some kind of something here in these buckets of water. Grows in water that wintered over, and it goes in stir fry. Some more spearmint right there, and some garlic in some buckets. Greenhouse, and it works pretty well. In the greenhouse, I guess we can see. So that's pretty cool. A lot of chilies. More chilies. Lots and lots. There's a few varieties of chilies here. It's one thing we eat a lot of. And a lot of chilies have already been given away. Chili starts, I should say. Some lettuce down there. Some more lettuce over there. And some kind of Tito plant. I think those squash there are mup, but I'm not 100% sure. They're either mup or they could be cucumber, but I think they're mup. Yeah, here's some more mup, which is Vietnamese loofah. It's a squash that we'll plant and we'll let it hang. And some oppo. But greenhouse is in full swing. There's some of the susu or chayote. I had saved a whole bunch to give away, and in fact was going to mail a couple to one of my YouTube friends, but someone got overzealous and gave them all away, so we're down to like a couple. We actually had to beg some off of somebody else this year because they all got given away. It's one thing about this place is the food and the plants and stuff get given away, so we don't always have what we need, but that's alright. Generosity is a good thing. Okay, we got some lemon mint in buckets here that wintered over, and some celery, Asian celery. I did, when I pruned my grapes this year, I stuck a bunch in here for starts, and I think they're going to take. Most of them will anyway. We'll have to see how that works out. And I did the same with the hydrangea cuttings. So if I can keep them alive over the summer, then in the fall time I can transplant them, and we'll see how they do over the winter, whether or not they go. Got a bucket of water here with this curly willow in it, and some more curly willow growing here, which I've tied in knots just because. But the curly willow, you can take the new growth, the green, and grind it up, put it in water, grind it up, let it soak in the water a while, and the water becomes a natural root hormone. And that's kind of why we have the willow around here. Don't need to have chemicals then. So, little garden patch update. You know, we got lots of buckets. We plant a lot of stuff in containers. All those buckets over there are full of some topsoil that was given to us. So we'll have to spread it around. Some compost topsoil. And of course, you know, the garden shed. Full of buckets. Got some more Asian celery over here, and some more fish mint and peppermint growing in this area. And then we have some more onions, of course. This area here, this first 8 feet, has been planted with some more snap peas. And then I've got this all dug up, and I got to turn the soil a couple more times and throw some manure in there, and we'll see what we end up planting there. But I did put a new border in this year, all the way down, and I took the old border and just kind of tucked it in between here, so it'll just rot as time goes on. It was to the point where it wouldn't hold the dirt anymore, so I had to replace it. And then I just ran some bars in the ground, and those are actually old barbell bars that are cut. I had a stack of them I got as scrap once upon a time, so that's what I used there for holding up the border. But I guess we'll call that the garden update for the 6th out here, so thanks for watching.